This is Detective Barnes, 11:29 p.m., March 7th, Sumida Ward Holding Facility. Can you state your name for the record?
Badger, are you sure we're alone in here?
Yes, the room is secure. Now, just tell me what happened at the radio tower.
I don't know what happened. Everything was fine. He was right next to me.
Who was?
I didn't even see him die.
Badger, listen.
No. I get it. This is my punishment.
Badger.
This is all my fault. We should have never went there in the first place. We should have just stayed. What was that?
It's nothing, you're fine. Now, what happened with...
No.
Damn it.
No. It's here for me.
Badger.
It found me. It followed me.
Calm down.
Don't let it get me.
Badger.
Help!
Son of a...
This is an official broadcast from the Department of Defense. A nationwide paranormal anomaly has been detected. For your safety, follow all instructions exactly as provided.
Warning. If you see a blonde girl wearing a red dress, be aware. It is not human. It will not approach unless it must. If she sees you doing wrong, it is already too late. She will follow. She will wait. She will decide. Remain still. Remain silent. Remain good. And...
pray.
Now, was that intro a little dramatic? No, not at all. I didn't know what I was getting into when watching the show. Like, when you see this cover, what do you think it's about? It looks pretty wholesome, right? A slice of life, maybe. I knew there was a twist, but what I wasn't expecting was schoolgirls pulling off John Wick level feats. This is actually some of the most fun I had watching a show in a while. Like, within the first episode, you see some girl open her curtains to a bright and beautiful day, getting ready to head to work, talking about Japan is so wonderful. The people here are so kind and gentle. And this is when I knew we was gonna be in for a ride. Look at the routes they're running. Shot him into the grass and has someone else confirm the kill. And y'all let me know what happened here. Erased him from existence. What weapon did they use to accomplish that? Hollow purple? But real quick, how many of y'all like volleyball? Cause today we have something special. Haikyuu Fly High. My Haikyuu fans out there, this is the perfect game for you. We're talking an immersive 3D experience. Every match will have that burst of energy from the serves, blocks, attacks, and even to the animation. And y'all know me, you know how I get when it comes to the animation. And this game really delivered. And that's saying a lot given the bar the Haikyuu anime set. It's nice to see how they not only put a lot of detail into each spike, really putting you in that moment, but how they even remastered the iconic moves from the anime. From Hinata and Kageyama's quick attack, Kuro's blocks, to Okiyawa's jump serves, anything you can think of. Best part is you're in control. You're not just watching these moves, you're the one who makes them happen. And to make it even better, it is fully voiced by the original cast. You can even revisit some of your favorite moments with scenes recreated straight from the anime. But it doesn't stop there. Have you ever wanted to create your own dream team? Well, guess what? You can do just that. You can have players from all different schools on one team. So whatever fantasy lineup you can imagine, you can make it happen. And I like when games allow you to use your brain. You can switch your lineup in a way that counters the enemy, a way that better utilizes your setter, a way that counters relationships. There's a little strategy involved in this, but even off the court there's plenty to do, whether it's building up your training base, expedition training, or even testing your knowledge with some Haikyuu trivia. Just a fun way to stay immersed in the world even outside the matches. Now, in excitement for the game's launch, they're hooking us up with some rewards. You can get up to 3 free SSR players through the in-game welcoming event. So with that being said, you can play now by scanning the QR code or by clicking the link in the description. And thank you again to Haikyuu Fly High for sponsoring this video. And keep in mind, the girl is still in my ear giving her speech. Erase, delete, destroy. All a part of the job. And speaking of job, of course that girl at the start, which her name is Chisato by the way, of course she wasn't heading to clock into our normal shift. She was called in to handle a hostage situation. One of our own is being held at gunpoint, and turns out the threat has a hacker on their side who cut the comms. And this girl says, well damn, we was ordered to stand by.
What?
Now for a little context, the man with the gun to her head is counting down from 10, so I can make an educated guess on what happens when he gets to 0. So you know what this girl does? Makes the tough call. Lets that shit fly. There's not an ounce of recoil. The gun is damn near bigger than her and she's holding her ground perfectly. And if it works, it works. You can't get mad, right?
Nope.
You could have killed Erica.
She's still alive, isn't she?
Whoa, now.
Aye, you wanna act like that, but it would be wrong if she just... Cause you wanna start all this unnecessary violence, you're just trying to protect yourself. But you know what's even crazier? The head of DA, which is a woman by the way, I thought she was a whole man, had this girl get transferred. And they keep saying, oh, she ignored orders. Like, excuse me? Were we all not present in the situation? Did you wanna find out what happened when that countdown hit 0? Cause there's only 2 ways it could have turned out. Either he was bluffing and was never gonna shoot her, or he was in fact gonna shoot her, and guess what? When he did, you would have lit him up anyway. I think she solved the problem. But the place she ends up getting transferred to is this coffee shop where Chisato works at. Also found out black hair's name is Takina, but Chisato here is like the #1 soldier they have. That disaster on the radio tower was her doing.
The Lycoris who single-handedly protected the old radio tower. Everyone's heard the story.
But apparently, that mission they were on was to stop an arms deal, but there was nothing there. The guns disappeared. How many? According to intel, approximately 1,000. 1,000? What do you need 1,000 guns for? Niggas trying to supply an army? Okay. Now with that explanation, I kinda understand why they're upset with Takina. With everyone dead, they can't get any information on where the guns could be.
Talk.
But for the time being, Chisato's taking her on her normal routes, jobs she usually does. And I can already tell the type of person Takina is. She didn't even bother asking for context on this transaction. She just immediately assumed it was a drug deal. She was about to end that man's life over a bag of beans. Now the next job was to help this lady with her stalking problem. She said ever since she uploaded this photo, she's been getting stalked. But what Takina notices is that this flick is taken right in front of the building the arms deal was at. So the person who's stalking her is most likely the person who's involved with the deal. So Chisato was like, you know what? How about we stick together for the night?
Okay, let's go to my place.
What?
Now keep in mind, this lady has no clue that these girls are highly trained soldiers. These are just random schoolgirls the police told her to talk to. Look, I don't know your age, but I'm guessing it's old enough to have responsibilities.
Oh.
What are you doing hanging with teenagers on a Wednesday night? You have work tomorrow. So Chisato dips out to grab some sleepover essentials. But that's when Takina notices there's a van following them, so she tells lady to go on ahead. Just allows her to get kidnapped, and look how she set this up.
Really?
She could have been shot at them, but purposely waited for them to turn the headlights on. And after seeing this, not gonna lie, I'm low-key on DA's side, because what was your plan? She's just airing the truck out with no regard for that lady's safety. You could have killed everyone again and left with no info on where the guns were at. So Chisato pulls up, told Takina her ass is tweaking. You need to put more value in human life. So now she's gonna take the lead. There's a drone at her 7. Take it down without a silencer.
Oh, shit!
She dodges a point-blank bullet, kicks the door in.
Oh my god.
Value human life, you say? You just painted that nigga on the ground. 6 shots to his body. Ran to the back with a big smile on your face. Shot him a couple times, then tied him up. But this is when we figure out she uses non-lethal rounds. Right. Non-lethal rounds that can go through a metal door. Yeah, someone check his pulse. He might actually be dead. Sit your stupid ass down. They're lucky Chisato doesn't use live rounds, cause someone who can dodge bullets and with no hesitation send them back is a nightmare. But remember the hacker in the beginning? Well, we get a little peek at their employers, and it seems that he has some history with Chisato. But the hacker was like, hey, I have a question. Why do you involve yourself in arms deals? So much for the saint of the Allen Institute. Guess even charity's got a price tag. Nigga always talk too much. And look who shows up at the shop. Not even 7 hours after vanquishing someone, already up and at it for a cup of joe. But turns out the hacker wasn't dead. Their name is Walnut, but he's talking to this other hacker, and long story short, they're after the #1 hacker spot. So he sold out Walnut's apartment to get him gone. But that's when Walnut hit us up for a job. Alright, so listen up. Our assignment is straightforward. Protect Walnut. We've received confirmed intel that armed hostiles have been spotted across the city, equipped with rifles. Let's take an educated guess and say they're a threat. Once you escort Walnut to Gate Hamada, you'll make contact with Mizuki and she'll take over from there. But of course,
They took over the car.
it wasn't gonna be that easy. That robot hacker wants Walnut dead. Took over the whole car, and see, that's why we don't drive them Teslas.
You serious?
Not only are you driving a vacuum cleaner, you can turn the car on and not even know you turned the car on. But if Elon woke up one day and said, you know what? F y'all, sends out an update that blows up your batteries, well then, you're hold. Anyways, Robot is trying to take them straight into the ocean. While Walnut is trying to regain control, they peep the drone following them outside. The only way to prevent Robot from hacking the car again, they gotta get rid of it. So the moment we got control back, Chisato shot out the window, Takina leans out. They somehow do a perfect barrel roll. I ain't seen not one seatbelt in that car. I know they hit their head hard as shit on that roof. And by the grace of plot, they barely made it. So obviously we need a change of plans. Unfortunately, they were followed, and that is one strong suitcase. I'm glad you picked out a titanium version. And why do goons in every show do this? They'll dump 3 mags and expect the 4th one to work, like maybe, just maybe, move.
What?
Just change positions, bro. I swear it'll do wonders. But that's when Chisato leaps off the shelf, pops this guy like 3 times, and your awareness is terrible. Yo, homeboy got hit 3 times and you're still standing there in the open, mag dumping.
Really?
It's pretty much field day for Takina. Y'all are just firing practice at this point. But this is when Chisato became one of my favorite characters of all time. So right now she's working on flanking them when she ran into this guy. So he pulls out a grenade. Mind you, they're like 15 feet away. I don't know what his plan was. I know damn well he wasn't going to try to bank it between the door frame. But the moment she saw the grenade, she closes the distance, smacked it into the other room, elbows the shooting arm. The tactics are there. Then proceeds to handle this grown man like a toddler, tossed him back into that room. That's when Takina runs in. Behind you. She just dodged every bullet out that fully automatic. With a straight face too, she just looks disappointed that you even attempted that. She then proceeds to walk him down, popped him like 3 times, and hold on, can't waste a bullet. And me and you both, Takina, how do you even react to that? She then quickly handles the red hat guy, and once again, y'all are lucky she's nice. She went as far as to treat your wounds. But it's true what they say, a little kindness goes a long way. The guy told him not to go through that door, there's a drone watching.
Oh shit.
Lit his ass up, was a mile away, and somehow had the best accuracy we've seen so far. Damn, it's hot in this shit. So that's when we found out this whole time it was Mizuki in the suit, and the actual Walnut was hiding in that suitcase. This little girl is Japan's best hacker. Anime. Well, everything worked out the way they wanted. Chisato and Takina wasn't informed on the actual plan, but the goal was to fake Walnut's death. Her former employer wasn't gonna rest until she was dead, so she might as well let him think she was dead. Now, I know that paycheck hit. For you to get lit up by multiple assault rifles, the price gotta be at least 7 figures. But what I like most about this show is the interactions. When Mizuki showed Chisato the picture she took of her,
What is that? Ew! Why? When did you even take this?
Also, Walnut is now staying with them, but since Walnut is technically dead now, she can't go by that name. Her new name is Kurumi, but with Japan's best hacker on their side, they can find the guys in this photo pretty easily. But in the meantime, we gotta take a trip back to DA. Chisato has to get a physical to renew her license, and of course, Takina is coming along to try to talk her way back into DA. And there's really rumors going around saying she's a friend killer. First of all, that name don't even make sense. The girl is still alive. Matter of fact, she's right in front of you. Like, come on, if you're gonna call someone a name, at least have it make sense. But Takina wasn't given permission to speak with the head of DA, so she's just gotta hang around for a while. Now, we do get some context on why she wants to be back in DA so bad. It's because all the girls here were orphans, and DA was the ones who raised them. So she was essentially ripped away from her parents. Now, the thing that pisses me off is that they really got a replacement.
Wow.
That's like when they try to replace Sasuke with Sai. Like, no, we don't like that nigga. And she was really playing all in Takina's face, talking about some, oh, do you get a kick out of shooting at friendlies? Like, bitch, someone needs to beat your ass immediately. That's when everyone, including the head of DA, walks in the room, and she immediately shuts down Takina's dream of coming back.
You still don't get it?
And this bitch is still talking. No one asked for your input. Fake ass J's on your feet. And I rock with Chisato heavy because at every chance she gets, she stands for Takina. And you know what this girl says?
How about I make you understand by crushing you in a mock battle?
Finally, these two gotta get put in their place.
2 on 2. Hey, wait!
So Takina and Chisato have a heart-to-heart saying, yeah, it hurts. Like the place you called home turned its back. Like your parents whispering they never loved you at all. But don't carry that weight like it's your fault. You didn't fall from grace. You leapt to save a life. And this pain you're feeling, it's not punishment for defiance. It's the cost of caring when others chose silence. Not gonna lie, let me hear some snaps I cook with that. But this is when we get a little more insight on what happened that day. Remember how I said the comms got hacked? Well, that should be impossible. They used the most powerful AI that contains all of DA's secrets, and the fact that it got hacked, they can't just go out and tell everyone the most powerful AI in the world was able to get hacked. So they decided to use Takina as a scapegoat, blamed it on her for why things went south. And Chisato was like, look on the bright side. If you never did what you did, we would have never met. And look at all these brown shirts laughing like, don't y'all got something better to do? Matter of fact, what rank are y'all? Y'all not even employed yet. Trigger warning. Get a job. And then you can talk. Anyways, Takina, I'm gonna go whoop those girls' asses. You can join if you like. And we have a crowd watching too. This is beautiful. So they run in, both take aim. You know bullets not touching Chisato, and as much as I don't want to compliment you, that move was tough. No more kind words for you the rest of the season though. So she breaks through the door, runs down whatever her name is, and thank you, Chisato. This is exactly what this girl needed, to be made a fool out of.
Nuh-uh. You shouldn't extend your arm at close range. I mean, you've already died twice.
Then proceeds to moonwalk bullets. Like, this is a 1v2, by the way. And don't let that smile fool you. Chisato may be a kind person, but if you personally piss her off, she will disrespect you. Cause imagine being in a gunfight and your opponent takes your gun and then gives it back. And then she gonna grab the gun and use all her ammo when she can clearly see the lady is dodging her shots. She said, you know what? Give me that shit. You don't deserve this. Slide cancel firing shots at the other girl. Hit her real quick, reloads the gun and pops her ass. Hey, don't you ever punch me again. Give me this gun, Chisato, you know what to do. Already head tapped her, but that wasn't enough. Had to light her ass up. And afterwards, Shorty is waiting around the corner like, go wash your face or something. What do you want? But she was like, you know it was a mock battle. All you had to do was shoot me from behind. Punching me was stupid. Yeah, well, I wanted to. Bitch. But I think one of the best parts of this show is how even though they're schoolgirl mercenaries, they still live a normal life. Cause they're really playing in VR doing backflips. And I promise the VR did not pick that up, by the way. All it looked like in the other side was you glitching out. But another factor I care about dearly is the fits. And they, well, Chisato got that shit on. Takina, you know, we'll work on it. But the flannel print in the back, nah, this fit is actually tough. They did go to the store and pick up something new for Takina, and low-key, I kind of rock with it. Now, we do also find out why Chisato left DA. It's because she's looking for someone, though the reason she wants to find this person is just to tell them thank you. Why exactly? We don't know yet, but she said it's been 10 years since she got that chain. I'd give up finding that guy, not gonna lie. Either you're not looking hard enough or they don't want to be found. But then it cuts to Teach with this guy again, and they just confirmed that he is in fact the person Chisato has been looking for all this time. Now obviously she doesn't have a face to match with the person she's looking for, or she would have been said something to this guy. But turns out he's been breaking rules for even being near Chisato. His business forbids any further contact after helping someone. So his business, which is the Allen Institute, helped Chisato 10 years ago, and she's been looking for him ever since. But remember that photo they gave Kurumi? She is somehow able to VR herself into a photo. Like, what technology is this? How did you get angles that didn't exist in the picture? Who made this, Batman? But this green hair guy, yeah, he's the mastermind. And then right after, we see him walking in a train tunnel with three guys, never mind, a whole fucking platoon. Was all y'all assigned a pillar to hide behind? But yeah, he's about to put those guns he bought to use. Meanwhile, Chisato and Takina notice an awful lot of Lycorises posted around this area. So then we see a train pulling up and they got to firing. There is a special place in hell for you. He's trying to take out a train full of innocents. Now, luckily, DA was tipped off about this, so they were able to evacuate all the citizens and fill the train with our own. And y'all know how anime works. They'll somehow murk every single person there but the person that matters. But as a precaution, he had explosions planted and escaped. What? And how bored can y'all be? Instead of going home, you rather wait here and watch the law enforcement stand outside a building? It makes no damn sense. I don't know about y'all, but if a place got blown to smithereens, I'd rather be as far away as possible from the site. You don't want to be standing there if the guy decided to spin back and finish the job. But green hair is the type of guy who just wants to be seen. So once he saw the news that the explosion he caused was covered up as an accident, he was confused. This was all DA's doing. Huh? They're the ones who covered up your stunt. I'm Robota. I'll be lending you my services as the best hacker in the world. If you want to take down the Lycoris, you'll need someone like me. Fuck was that about? Imagine hacking into someone's phone and giving them an end call button. Very considerate, I guess. Anyways, we have another mission. Now on paper is nothing crazy. Really just taking this old man on a sightseeing tour. Now of course it's not that simple. A long time ago, this man's wife and kids got murked. Of course. So you know, someone is most likely after him, and well, why don't you look at that? There is. And he's no amateur. He knew that Joan was following him. So change of plans. Mizuki is gonna have a car waiting for them, but first she needs to set up a new drone. Well, scratch that. Kurumi had a spare drone, but we don't have a spare Mizuki, so the car is a no-go. But what Mizuki did do is place a transmitter on his coat. He's behind you. Oh shit. Aight, bro, spill the beans. Where'd you get vibranium from? No way that big-ass coat is bulletproof and you're running full speed. Oh, and Mizuki's alive, by the way. He just stuffed her in a random room. But like I said earlier, this guy's no amateur. Takina doing a full 180, he knew they must have been tracking him. Meanwhile, Chisato is still with the old man. She turns away for 1 second to get informed on the situation, and the man vanished. Turned around for literally a second, he was gone. She had to go on a whole marathon to find this guy. Like, what's in that wheelchair? A V8? Twin turbos? That nigga was in the wind. But the reason he rode off like that is because he knew what was going on. He knew exactly who was after him. This is the same man who took out his family. So he was ready to accept his fate. These are some very durable people, but Takina dropped her gun, so all she can do is run. But Chisato ain't gonna let this happen. She jumps from who knows where, another building apparently, but she gets in close, puts the entire barrel in this man's gut. Yeah, you're not walking that off. Expect intense bowel movements for the next week. Kill him. Huh? That man took my family. Please, you must end him for me. You're one of the Allen children, right? For what reason were you given that life?
I don't want to do it. I can't take someone else's life away.
And Chisato's whole killing thing is cause since she was given another chance to live, thanks to the Allen Institute, she doesn't want to take that right from anyone else. Even if the people she fights are bad, she doesn't want to be responsible for that. And then all of a sudden, the man just dies. Afterwards, he's talking with Teach as if everything is normal, like we wasn't just throwing bullets at each other, but he tells him that a woman came up to him with a load of cash and told him to end that old man. He asks no questions, money is money. And if you remember from the beginning, this is the same lady who was in a car with this guy, which I gotta remember his name, it's Shinji. His name is Shinji. And I was trying to figure out what reason would they have to get rid of that old man. He was already on limited time. The guy couldn't move his body at all. Shit, he was talking through an iPad. How much of a threat could he be? But that's until they ID'd him. Turns out this old man was a patient at a hospital who vanished 2 weeks ago. He was an end-of-life patient with drug addictions who couldn't move or talk at all. So Kurumi did some digging and told us that a third party was talking through the speakers. The goggles were cameras and the wheelchair was remote controlled. Then it cuts to Shinji and we see him giving the okay to use that old man's body. The only thing that makes sense to me is that Shinji is trying to push Chisato to start killing. Maybe he feels like Chisato owes him, like I saved your life so you shall work for me. And this is when they tell us how her life was saved, by giving her a mechanical heart. That's all they told us so far. We cut to these guys, right? They just finished up some deal and wow, real conspicuous. There's not a soul on the street and you're walking directly behind them. There's no way you're up to something, right?
What?
Whoa, a gun? Craziest part is she gets ran over by a whole GTR. Nigga was not trying to be sneaky at all. A bright yellow Nissan GTR. The man just committed a federal crime like 2 days ago, by the way. Did not care to keep a low profile. But then the rest of his platoon arrives and lit her up. 6 guns, no suppressors, all letting loose in the middle of the street. That sound is echoing across the city. All it takes is one person to call the police and I promise it will be very easy to find you. Green hair, yellow GTR, ugly ass red Hawaii shirt. Not many people would fit that description. And within the next week, 4 more incidents just like this happened. And Lycoris all around were aware they're being targeted. So Takina decided to move in with Chisato for, safety. And she really had an apartment with a basement that leads to her actual apartment. But real quick, they was playing rock, paper, scissors on who was going to do chores, and look how they say it.
Rock comes first, rock, paper, scissors, go!
See, that's nasty. The correct way to say it is rock, paper, scissors says shoot. No other way is acceptable. Anyways, turns out Majima, aka Green Hair, is working with Robota. He informed them how DA are the ones covering up all these attacks. So now Majima's goal is to get rid of the DA, and Robota said he can track down the headquarters, which by the way he couldn't. So what he does is figure out where Chisato lives, send 2 street level thugs like they were gonna do something, threw their ass out the window. So that's when Majima busts down his door, because at this point it's been over a month and he's yet to track down DA. And what saved his life is the footage of Chisato running them dudes down. That got Majima's attention. He's thinking if she's the top Lycoris, she'll be a huge threat for when he goes after DA. So he pulls the same stunt he did before and ran her over with a GTR. But before this happened, Kurumi was able to hack into DA's drone footage and seen that the 4 Lycorises Majima murked were all recently captured by this drone. And not only that, but Chisato was being targeted next. Throws the cloak up, literally pops the entire squad, and not gonna lie, she shook them boys. If it wasn't for Robota, she would have been long gone. So he pulls up in his van, immediately gets shot off though, and I hate when stuff like this happens. Like, you have a gun. Why are we getting close enough to smell the man's cologne? It makes no sense. And they for real formed a circle so they can box it out, but the squad wasn't far behind. Kurumi sent the location. They'll be here in T-minus... Nah. They both hop in a car when this guy pulls out an RPG. Good thing Kurumi smacked dude with the drone, but look at this. Let's take a little quiz. Do you A, think he dies, B, think he dies, C, think he dies, or D, somehow fucking survives? You got your answer?
Yes.
If you pick D, you're correct.
Huh? What?
Not a single scratch. Matter of fact, he looks better than he did before. Now, for a show where a girl can dodge bullets, hold a LMG without an ounce of recoil, a vibranium trench coat, you'll just add surviving a direct impact of an RPG to the list, right?
No!
But at least the first three is somewhat explainable. Like, if you told me those first three things happen in real life, I'd believe it way faster than surviving a direct RPG. Anyways, later on, they're talking and Robots has been doing some digging and found rumors of someone who used to use non-lethal bullets just like her a few years back. And when he mentioned the old radio tower, Manjima was like, oh yeah, I'm the one who snapped it.
You serious?
Come to think of it, there was a single person who took us all down. Oh shit, it was her? A 7-year-old girl took your whole crew down. The gun is almost bigger than her. But the first part of their new plan is to insert this USB into the police chief's computer, which, to be honest, I don't know what use that has to y'all, but careful now. I'm not gonna ask why all 13 of you are carrying guns in a country where guns are pretty much banned or how you even got your hands on such firepower. Instead, I will politely ask you to leave. No. So the next day, these two show up. Pretty much they got footage of inside a police station and asked them to confirm Majima's identity. But we're not really worried about that right now. DA is going to handle that. What Chisato was thinking about was the text she saw on Teach's phone. Something about a bar forbidden. She thought it was the head of DA texting him about shutting down the cafe, so she told everyone else. They looked it up and turned out it was a bar. So now they think the messages were more personal and they were actually going on dates. So the next time he stepped out, they followed him there, and when they saw Shinji pulled up, they was like, what? He's gay? I don't know what type of relationship they have, to be honest. Every time they're together, they're talking about Chisato. But at that point, they were ready to leave. They felt like they were intruding. But funny enough, Chisato overheard them talking about her. And this is when she finds out Shinji was the one she's been looking for all this time. She thanks him for what he's done and tells him how she wants to use the time she was given to save others. You can tell that's not what he wants to hear. And when he leaves, maybe they are gay.
Oh my god.
Toxic relationship, huh? But this whole argument they had is Teach saying they should give Chisato all the time she needs. But Shinji was like, nah, remember the promise we made? And the promise was to raise Chisato and nurture her talent for killing. And you know, I usually don't like the overly happy characters because sometimes the most depressing thing can happen to them and they'll still be jumping around like everything is sunshine and rainbows. But for some reason, I don't feel that way towards Chisato. But anyways, some time passes. They've been racking up money for the cafe with their all new shit cakes. And people are really buying them individually. Those are some big ass turds. You can share that. And now they're gonna bring it home and have it sit in the fridge for a month. But Chisato left the cafe because she has a little doctor's appointment, but she got a little caught up. And this is a funny situation because I'm like 90% sure Chisato can blitz her dude if she really wanted. I think she's just playing along for right now. But he then asks her if she remembers when they first met. And we see that backstory, and my goodness, was she a demon. Non-stop movement, taking everyone down one by one. Like, look at her. This is the most serious we've ever seen her. All they're seeing is a red blur. Each bullet they hear, they know it's another man down. This will be terrifying. What else can you do but believe there's monsters roaming the same earth as you? And even when he blew up the tower, she just stood there. No reaction. How'd they survive that? No clue. But turns out Majima was also a patient at Allen Institute. So he was like, listen, that Allen Institute you cherish so much isn't all smiles and roses. They supported you because they saw your talent for killing. None of that helped the world bullshit. Well, time for me to leave. Done outplayed Takina. Good thing you're half Spider-Man because she probably would have shot you. Do your best to handle Chisato with care. Her days of playing make-believe has to come to an end.
Dr. Yamagishi says it's nothing more than vitamins, so...
You got something different today.
Huh? Scumbag.
Damn it, bro. They done got my goat. And remember that mechanical heart she has? Yeah, well, they're changing a few settings.
Chisato! What'd I do? From now on, please answer calls from me within 3 rings. If you don't, I will conclude that you are in danger and will proceed to your location immediately. Okay, sure. So try and answer right away.
Alright then, time to get to work. But by the time she got there, it was already done. She overcharged the heart's battery and made it impossible to ever charge again. And now she only has 2 months left to live. And there's no replacing it either. The Allen Institute are the only ones who can create something like this.
Where are you going? I'll find that nurse and kill her.
But Chisato tells her to calm down, saying even before this, she didn't have much time. The mechanical heart wasn't perfect. It was only able to keep her alive until she was 18. All they did was cut her time down by a few months. Let's just go home. So now she's on her way to DA. The chairman says she has something for her, a camera. No idea what's on it yet, but she also tells us that they're about to commence a large-scale operation to suppress Majima. They found his hideout and said she should join them. At least become a proper Lycoris before you die. Yeah, go sit on a pine cone. And now these two are back, handing Takina a letter from DA, which are orders telling her to return. But the time she spent with Chisato was way better than anything DA can offer. At this point, she didn't want to go back. And while Kurumi and Teacher were alone, they were talking about the promise he made with Shinji, and how he would raise Chisato and nurture that killing talent. But it was the time he spent with her that made him think of her more as than some mission. So Kurumi came to the conclusion that Shinji is probably connected with Majima some way.
What?
I don't know how she got that from that story, but Takina was listening the whole time, thinking if she gets her hands on Majima, they'll be able to learn more about Chisato's heart. She wasn't planning on going back to DA, but if it gives them even the slightest chance of helping Chisato, she'll go back in a heartbeat. Started in April, a legal weapons deal, then the Metro assault, the Lycoris murders, a goddamn assault in a police station, all of it traced back to one man, Majima. 10 years ago, he was in our country during the radio tower incident, and now he's crawled back out of whatever hole he's been hiding in playing the same damn game. But this time, we know his hideout. Find that son of a bitch and kill him. But Takina has something else to do first. This is one of Majima's guys. She came here to question him on if Shinji was involved with them.
No,
Listen here, you fat son of a bitch. I already got fired once for killing too many people, and you know what? I kinda like my life outside of DA. So please, give me a reason to get fired again.
my shoulder!
Takina, that was wonderful. I wasn't expecting a Batman interrogation out of you, but look at this. Majima somehow got his hands on Shinji. Robota told him that Chisato has some kind of connection with him. Not exactly sure what the plan is yet, but by the time DA got there, he was long gone. So he started a Zoom call. Long story short, he was like, yeah, I'm about to do a radio tower part 2. That, whatever that is getting blown up. And he's really doing this on his grand opening. Could even get a day to admire it. Yo, I got a little message for y'all. While other countries in the world are fighting against terrorism and warfare, this country's in a peaceful bubble. Is it because Japanese people are just so much better than the rest? Yeah, right. This isn't the safe place you think it is. Everything that happens has been covered up. They're selling you peace filled with lies and deception. And you know what? I just can't put up with that, so that's why I scattered guns like this all over the prefecture. So this is what he did with those 1,000 guns. Gave it to the public, and they're stupid enough to use it. Dude was like, ooh, a toy. And what, accidentally aimed at the cop's head? Then this guy calls in. I'm assuming he's the boss because he's telling the head of DA what to do. And he tells her that she needs to deploy Chisato. Put Chisato on the line. But Chisato also gets a call on her personal phone showing Shinji being tied up. She has the head of DA telling her she needs to come in, while Robota on her personal phone is telling her that if she comes anywhere near the tower, they'll murk Shinji. And Robota took some extra precautions, had like 4 drones outside the cafe, so it's time to load up. Got Teach out of retirement for this. Now, during this whole thing, Kurumi was actually leaving the country. Chisato wanted to close down the cafe, and without them to protect her, she had to leave. leave, but that's besides the point. Kurumi was doing some digging, and I mean some intense digging. She found a woman with the Allen logo, used the reflection in her eyes to find where she's at, went back in time 10 years, analyzed her skeleton frame to see where she was in the present, and pretty much she found out there was a second mechanical heart, an approved version too. So she called Takina and told her what she found. Takina also filled her in on when she went down to the cafe, neither Chisato or Teach were there, and both their phones were left behind. Kurumi checked it out and found a picture that was sent to Chisato. Also tracked down Teach's car and saw them heading to the old radio tower, so you know what Takina did? Said, fuck whatever DA got going on, we gotta go back up Chisato. And good thing she did, cause all they found up there were dead bodies of innocent people. That's when Majima hops back on the big screens and not gonna lie, DA, y'all are trash. Y'all must have been lying about the whole super powerful AI you have. Whole time they're really just flexing ChatGPT, cause no way a singular guy behind a computer screen can hack the screens over and over again. But that's when they show everyone the live feed, making it seem that the Lycoris are the bad guys, making it seem that they will do anything to keep peace, even if it means taking out innocent people. So you know, after hearing something like that, the citizens feel as if they need to do something, as if they need to fight back. But now it's time for Chisato to stop playing along. Was running through that building with a new gun equipped too, using the shotgun this time, until she lost it.
Wow.
Got a nerf her somehow. And she really be doing the same thing Batman be doing. You can tell me all you want, these guys aren't dying from this, but I won't believe it. I seen what those non-lethal bullets can do, and you over here head tapping everyone with it. But anyway, she enters the building, and this is really just a rerun of what happened last time, taking down all your guys one by one. And when she finally finds Shinji is when Majima reveals himself. Close all the shutters, making it hard to see, because that's the only way you can beat her. If she can't see, she can't dodge. But just like how Chisato has excellent eyes, Majima has excellent ears. Bro is deadass using echolocation to know where she's at. And it's funny because I count this as a loss. She's in your domain and still countered you. You're lucky you wasn't fighting Takina. She would have instantly pulled the trigger. But this is the section of the show where the villain is like, you know what? We'll make a good team, you and I. And it never works out. I don't know why they choose to do this every time. But look who arrives. Fucking Wonder Woman. I don't know how she broke through them shutters. Bitch. 3 kicks straight to the skull. And this is no longer a 1v1, by the way. We jumping you. And he was doing good using the darkness against them, but Chisato straight up grabs his collar, fired the gun right next to both ears, and look at that. That razor sharp earring is out of commission. Proceeds to line him up while Takina restrains him. So then they catch up to Shinji, and he was like, did you kill Majima? You saw what he did to your hero. Did you kill him for me? And the moment she said no, his whole act switched. Was saying things like, who do you think you are? Some kind of saint? You could use your talent to actually contribute to humanity. I didn't repair a broken doll just for you to waste it on some useless fantasy. And Takina's just listening to all this, and when he takes her gun, switches to live ammo, takes a shot, and you just see Takina in the back.
Stop it! The next shot will go between your eyes.
And this is when everything starts to make sense. Majima thought he was using Shinji, but it was really the other way around. He used getting kidnapped to lure Chisato here, hoping she'll finally kill after seeing what Majima did to her hero. But the only thing Takina wants is what's inside that briefcase. That's where the second mechanical heart is. Or so we thought. He unbuttons his shirt and reveals that he put it inside himself. The only way she can survive is by killing him. But of course she can't bring herself to do it. But you know who can? Takina was gonna pop him without a second thought.
I'll rip that heart out with my bare hands if I have to!
But now this lady is back. And when Chisato was about to help, she realized she only has live ammo. They go flying out the window, and shout out to this random beam in this conveniently placed location. But these two are trying their absolute hardest to get Chisato to shoot, but at this point, she really had no other choice. Takina tells her to go while she handles this. And the next thing we see is the lady laid out on the floor with Takina in the back, and just look at her. She don't care about that cherished life bullshit. She wants that nigga dead. If he's alive, that means Chisato doesn't get the heart. But with the way Chisato is, she doesn't want to take a life to extend hers, and Takina is just gonna have to accept that. So that's when Kurumi and Mizuki arrive, and turns out they received a request from an unknown source to rescue the Lycorises. I can take a pretty good guess on who that was, and not gonna lie, I completely forgot they got exposed. But since that happened, DA got word from the higher-ups to dispose of all the Lycoris that was caught on video. And turns out there's an organization just like DA, but like for dudes. And they're the ones who would take them out. Now the ones who are actually there have no clue what's going on. They've been ordered to stand by. So Kurumi gave them a USB to plug in so she can fix the DA's AI. Meanwhile, this team is still fighting Majima's men, and it went from 0 to 100 real quick. Bro just casually has a minigun, and not gonna lie, they were getting worked. Stood no chance until our squad pulled up. Standing on his body, popped him again. Jumped down one to the gut, caught him while he was falling and put one in the jaw. Takina takes out both arms, shoulder checked him, kicked to the jaw and restrained dude by his neck. But that's when that other organization finally showed up, and who designed this layout? Put the USB slot in the worst area possible. But with the USB plugged in, she was able to find Robota and stop the broadcast. Also found his whole location and had the police bust down his door. Then she sent out her own broadcast and pretty much made it seem like everything that happened was all just some show for the grand opening of the new tower. So since things were able to be covered up, the male Lycorises were called off. So yeah, everything was fine.
Oh my god, what is that?
Of course. Yes, it's a 1v1 again. And just look at her. At this point, she's just annoyed. But then this guy proceeds to start a timer for a bomb. Talking about something, we have to settle the score. Without your partner, you... I thought it was done right there and then. Dude got hit with 15 bullets, but this time, he came with body armor. Get off me! Grabs the collar, headbutt, and Chisato. He has armor. Aim a little higher, please. Or... lower, that'll work too. She dodges all the bullets, kicked them in the mouth, and that's when we see Takina scaling up the tower. She not leaving her behind. But while they were fighting, Chisato got put in a very unfortunate position. The guy threw a grenade while she was on the glass, but it don't even matter because she ran up that bitch. Hit him twice, but here we go. Her heart started acting up. They had to nerve her. But I was actually surprised when Majima handed her a drink and was like, alright, let's take a break. I kinda respect that. He doesn't want no easy win. He accomplished his goal of exposing DA. Even if it gets covered up, it's still gonna be a lingering thought in everyone's head. And now the final thing he wants to do is even the score with Chisato, but only if she's at her best. And then we see Shinji again when someone confronts him. It was Teach himself. Swole ass nigga, when we see this buff. But he was like, so it was her? She's the one who assaulted Chisato. She gonna try to attack him, but come on, bro. Get that little ass kitchen knife out of here. He knocks her across the room and just emptied the mag. Proceeds to walk up on Shinji and was like, yeah, we used to be something, but I'll do anything for Chisato. And you know, Chisato and Majima was having a little convo, and not gonna lie, Majima don't make no type of sense. He was like, yeah, I'm only here to balance things out. I don't really see myself as a villain, I just support the weaker side. If DA was the underdog, I'll be on their side. Like, bro, what? Nothing but a bunch of nonsense just spewed out your mouth. Anyways, 15 minutes left on the clock. It's about time they resume the fight. And pretty much, he was trying to get to that phone to stop the timer, but he kicks it away and got that left shoulder good. Takina runs in and Chisato uses that slight distraction to drag him down with her. Shot the dude 3 times in the head. She was ready to die with him. But the goat wasn't gonna let her fall. She ran across the glass, tied her up, jumped on the ledge, and held on for dear life.
Oh my god. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
You've gotta be kidding me.
Not gonna lie, you're not mad enough. All that work over fireworks, I'd bring that nigga back to life and pop him again, cause no way. And by the way, all those guns that were scattered around is still out there. They were only able to gather about 500 of the 1,000 guns, so some of the citizens got their hands on... Alright bro, are we serious? First you survive a direct RPG, and then a fall from... how high? Do you see how big this building is? Doesn't matter where you fall, you shouldn't be here. And the dude has on bandages like that's supposed to make it make sense. Now you should be splattered on the pavement And that whole thing with Chisato's heart, everyone else thinks that Shinji was bluffing and the heart was actually inside the briefcase the whole time. But we know the truth, and so does Kurumi. Teach Merc Shinji took his heart, asked Kurumi to make a deal for the surgery, and lied about what happened to everyone else. So they was like, you know what? Let's go to Hawaii. But yeah, man, that's that. One of the best random shows I've ever clicked on. Let's just cross our fingers and hope we get that season 2.